Any questions on that? Okay, Greg, you have a question? No, thank you. Let's go ahead and go on to B, discussion of, Yakima Valley Conference of Government Professional Service Agreement, amendment number 1. Any questions on that? This is one that we do annually, correct, Sylvia? Correct. So, you guys have any questions on that one? Which would be,
There's no dollar amount on there. It's the same, did it go up?
Usually you have to put the dollar amount on, usually you do 5,000. In the past.
Oh, so we make the dollar amount. So is it gonna be 5,000?
Well, it's up to you guys, you know.
It has to be amended. I mean, that's for more. We've used that amendment. Correct, so.
Correct.
you have any questions, Eric? No. Thank you.
I think we need to put dollars amounts on here because it says the amount of the original contract will be increased by an additional blank. Bringing the total amount of original contract to blank.
And that's when you guys make that decision, the dollar amount. In the past, you agreed to 5,000.
She needs to have a mic over there.
5,000 would be the amount.
So we can put 0 and an additional increase and just put 5,000 in the original contract amount?
Sure.
Everybody?
Mine doesn't work, doesn't have battery.
You want to write it down? So, you want to do the 5,000?
Well, what's it before?
I believe
That's what you guys did before, so Vera and Tootie,
What was it?
5,000, so it says
Why they call it, right?
on page 21.
What was it before? 5,000?
You all want to agree to 5,000?
I'm okay with 5,000, but then should put 0 here. I don't know what everybody else.
You want to agree to the 5,000 or do you want to? I mean, everything's
We have
on.
time to table it, find out what we're paying.
Do we know what we spent this year so far? Or what we've used this year so far?
Yeah, no, it doesn't increase very much. You know, I know it's. Does this have a deadline? Oh. So we can bring it back.
Correct.
Let's bring it back to, let's table this right now.
That's what I was saying.
And we can bring it back. Go ahead and table that. The discussion of the Yakima Valley Conference of Government. Professional service agreement and amendment for number 1, we'll table that and we'll bring it back to the next council. Anyone else?
Which one?
Number three.
Yeah,
Yeah.
B. Mhm. Okay. We'll go ahead and go on to C, discussion and review on the 2024 preliminary budget and public hearing. Any questions?
I have a question. Why isn't the financial person here to explain this to us today?
Good evening.
She online?
Good evening,
Hey there.
Jameson.
Yes,
you
I'm here
online?
online.
I
Can
can
you hear
barely
me?
hear you.
Let me try and turn my microphone up just a second.
Are you there?
I'm here. Let me try and turn my microphone up just one second.
Can we put one of the mics right there? Maybe we can hear her. Please, Sophie? Can you turn it? Thank
Can you
you.
hear me better now?
Just a minute, Jameson. We can't hear you. Okay. Let's
Can you
try
hear
it
me now?
now.
Is this better? You can't hear me still?
They're calling you.
Hi, Sylvia.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can. Let me turn my audio off.
I did issue a memo to you guys to indicate what, how the budget was prepared with the assumptions and the fact that the information is limited because of the financial still being unreconciled for basically from October of 2020. So, and I'm still working on that project. But for the time being, this budget at least covers the expenditures that you've had so far this year. With an assumed 5% increase over the average of the last 3 years. At this point for the 2024 budget, it is past the time really to make decisions necessarily on expenditures that have already been made. I think it's really important that the council pass an ordinance in the next couple meetings so that you have an official budget so that your expenditures are legal.
Jameson?
Yes, ma'am.
So you said you got, all the expenditures or you said expenditures from what we've spent already. What about all the revenues?
They're there as well. There's a revenue report and an expenditure report. Those reports that I provided.
Yeah,
Sorry, both items are budgeted.
okay, so in these funds, line items, where is the ARPA fund included in them?
The ARPA funds were receipted into the general fund
Into
when
the
they were
general?
received. So they are technically part of that fund balance that's been passed over since the end of 2022. And those funds do need to get obligated by the end of this month or of this year, the end of December of 2024. So I'm still trying to work and figure out if you guys have filed any of your ARPA reports to indicate how you are expected to use it. If you've accepted the funds based on revenue replacement, or if the council has elected to do something different with them. Either way, at this point, we have just till the end of December to obligate them officially in accordance with the U.S. Treasury. And we still would have till the end of 2026 to use them, but they really have to be under contract and obligated by the end of the year.
And you said they can be put under revenue replacements?
Well, there's a couple ways you can claim the ARPA funding as the award from the Treasury. There's a couple different uses you can use. You can say that we're claiming it under revenue replacement, or that we were claiming it to help mitigate the effects of COVID. There are certain types of street, water, or sewer projects, infrastructure projects that could be used. At this point, with only 2.5 months left, the likelihood of the council being able to obligate these funds for any use besides revenue replacement is unlikely unless you have a project already done. Once it's obligated as a revenue replacement, it can be used for a vast amount of items that are considered general government expenses.
So if we put them in the revenue replacements, then we can use them later for like something for the water system.
Sorry, you're echoing a little bit. I couldn't quite hear you.
So if we put the money into the revenue replacement, we obligated for that, then we can use it later on for water projects.
We could use it later on, but later on is only until
Right, next year.
making an obligation by December 31st of this year, which means that the project would need to be under contract, or we would issue a sub-award to another jurisdiction, or something like that, where it's actually entered into some sort of contract requiring a payment. So there's not a lot of time left to make any decisions on what to do with it.
Jameson, I have a question.
Sure.
So, I know last year, in December, we had, our last council had passed for the splash pad. And, Jamin, had come, spoke to the council at that time, and we had started, getting the bids and all the equipment, with pricing. He had already brought all of that to us. And, that got approved, by council last year, and to move forward with the splash pad. Would that be something, since it's already in the, we've already got it started, would we be able to use that?
Depends on whether or not you can legally get the funds obligated in accordance with the treasury direction. So, it depends on how far you are in the project. Jamin may be able to answer that question. Has it gone to bid? Has it been awarded? And if it hasn't been accomplished yet, does it need to go pre-bid? There's usually a timeline on some of those contracts based on the increase in prices. It needs to go and get rebid or something like that. So I'm assuming Jamin would have all of that information for you.
Yes, and actually I do too. I just didn't have it with me. I don't have it with me right now, but, with you saying that we have to use it by, have it, by the end of the year. So we already got that project in the makes, and, I wanted to see if that was something we could do, but I will talk to Jamin. Is he gonna be on tonight? No, okay, so I will reach out to him, and see what we can do. Jameson.
Yeah, the other, like I said, it's able to be used for general government use. And so you can even use it to cover salaries of current employees. As long as that position exists by the end of 2024, you can still use those funds to pay those salaries as long as it's obligated to that through the end of 2026. But those are the decisions that need to be made by the council before the end of the year.
Thank you. Any more questions for Jameson? Here?
This is a public hearing, correct?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
I have a few more questions. I was looking over the revenue thingy. So in the revenue on the budget, it says coronavirus relief fund, there's $0 in there. There's no,
That's this year's budget. We've already received that money. So this isn't going to show the fund balance. The funds we've already received them. We don't have any more revenue coming in for that. So the amount we've received so far, I believe, is about, I
Jameson,
want to say 630,000.
is this the second half?
Sorry, what was that?
Was this the second half of the funding? Was this the second half of the funding?
We received the first half in 2021 and then the second half in 2022. So those funds have been sitting in the bank already since, I think, July in 2022.
how much did you say it was, Jameson?
I believe it was 316,000 and some change in each year, 2021 and 2022.
Did you know what the balance is now, though? Did we use it
I
all?
don't,
Yeah, okay.
I did, Sylvia told me that you were interested in that, and I have started trying to dig through and find all of the transactions that have been attributed to ARPA, to put those in some sort of, order for you, but at this point, I haven't been able to get that done.
Yeah, I've been asking for the ARPA funds information since like April.
What was that?
I said, I've been asking for the ARPA funds information since like April or May, March or April, and haven't had anything, so. I would really want that money used for the water system. Like we had budgeted back in 2021 to be used for, the water.
Okay,
So if we put in the revenue replacement, like you said, then we cannot use it for, to upgrade any kind of water system unless it is, like you said,
there has to be a contract of some sort in
Contract.
place
okay,
to do the work by December 31st of 2024.
okay. Well, I don't know if everybody else, I think we're gonna get Jamin to do something like that for the water tanks, for the mixers that was budgeted back in 2021 or 2022.
Jameson, I have a question.
Sure.
Sophie keeps talking about some mixers that were budgeted in 2021. We've looked and we haven't found anything. Do you remember anything about that?
found it. You guys gave it to us in,
I didn't.
yes, you guys did.
Do you recall that, Jameson?
I'm sorry, I don't recall what the allocations were. if
Jameson
any.
wasn't here at that time.
2021?
She left in
I was
2020.
here until August of 2021.
Okay. So, and I
I
know,
don't recall.
yeah, and I did ask, Jamin as well, and he said it was something that was, spoken about, but was never, in the budget. So, and we've looked for it.
On the website. You guys
So-
printed it out one day and brought it to us as supposedly the 2024 budget, or was an example of the 2024 budget. But it's in there, it's in the website
So,
for 2021, for 2022's budget, it's in there.
any other
I don't have it
questions?
with me though.
Mary?
But yes, I still have questions, I don't know if anybody else does, but. I have another question, Jameson. On the revenues, we have different line items for community events and a set different one for special events donations. Should those be combined?
And no, not necessarily. It depends on where the source of the funds are. A donation be something donated versus like a fee for community event might be something separate. I'm not sure what the intent was when we sent them up. I don't believe we had those as when I worked here prior.
No, it wasn't when you were here, no. They were made up later on.
So I think, sorry, I'm just looking through this. Are you talking about like, okay, like the 367 bars number for special event donation?
Yeah, and then the other one is
Okay.
345, 347.
And then is there a separate line item for something else?
Yeah, for 347, community
Oh,
events.
347, okay, so yeah, that would mean a 340 is always going to be some kind of good or service. So it's a payment for something in particular, maybe rental of a booth or something like that versus a donation, which is just given to the city for the city to use for whatever purpose.
So that 4,000 that's in there for as budgeted, that's what the city expected to get in donations?
That's what, yeah,
What they expected to get.
and there we go.
And then the fiscal, it says what they actually got.
There's no donations that have been received, but I do have to say, I did find quite a few errors in some of the receipts for community events, and a bunch of them that were basically receipted into bars expenditure numbers. It's just some accounting errors. So this is one of the reasons why, yes, it is important for us to figure out exactly what's going on with the city's funds. However, the likelihood of us being able to get that done, by the next meeting, for you guys to pass this so we can move on to the 2025 budget, is not necessarily high. But we can always make adjustments to this and amend the budget before the end of the year as we get through those reconciliations and we get that information to be more accurate.
Yeah, because it's not accurate. I know for a fact they did get donations. And it
Yeah.
said zero.
Well, and then the other side of this is on some of these reports, it's not gonna show up until it's been fully processed through the system. So we receive the money and we issue a receipt. But if we haven't told our financial system that we actually took it to the bank, even if we did, it may not show up on this report. And that's part of the problem with getting that reconciliation done.
Thank you, Jameson.
Any other questions? Okay. Sophie, are you done? Mary?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for her?
No, I do not.
Luke, do you have any questions for her?
No.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and go on. We're gonna go into executive session. We're gonna do, RCW 42.30.110.1. Action is not anticipated to be taken upon reconvening this, city council, session. So we're gonna go ahead and do 30 minutes of,
You're down to 4. I
yeah,
wanted to add a couple of things to new business.
so we're gonna talk about,
You said right now is the time to do it.
That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
so we're gonna go ahead and, if we can have, clear the chambers. And we will start our, executive session at 6:30 as soon as we have everybody step out. And we will go till 7 o'clock.
Mayor, would you like me to stay on for the regular meeting or rejoin?
Yes, please.
Okay, will do.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Hold on.
Thank you.
Think about it.